Hello, good evening, namaskar. Welcome to a new series from Biotechnica, which is powered by data. So, my name is Shekhar Suman. I'm the CEO, Managing Director of Biotechnica. Quickly, everybody, please join us so that we can start our series. So, we are trying to have it on a regular basis on our YouTube channel. And this is data-driven CSIR NET analysis. And I'll be taking some case studies. Now, these case studies are exclusively for our students and subscribers because, Biotechnica was the only one which has access to this now. So, I'll tell you a story before this. So, the story goes like this. What happened is CSIR NET came up with the answer key. Okay, so they came up with the answer key, and now this answer key was in a separate window, and your response sheet was in a separate window. Okay, so response sheet in a separate window. Now, what students had to do, right? I'm sure you all can connect to this. How much time you have wasted on this, right? More than 3 hours comparing. So you wrote 3 hours exam, and now you had to compare the answer key to the response sheet and know how much you scored. Now, this irritated me a lot. This was like such a waste of time. So what we did is I designed a AI which was doing it in real time, and more than 60,000 students who wrote the CSIR NET Life Science. So you can imagine 80,000 people, right? 60,000 have used this tool which we created. So now the AI was doing this. So within 15 minutes, you were getting that data. So based on that data, now we are going to do the exam analysis. And why we are doing it? Because our aim is to make sure that you all qualify CSIR NET. So every day we will be taking 1 or 2 cases. Okay, today I'm just going to take up with 1 case. Okay, so what happens now is you have to pay attention to the data so that you know what went wrong with this student and how can you avoid. And then this case study will have real score. It's not like I am just creating some score. This is a real score of a student who has written the CSIR NET in December 2023, and that data will be there, and that we have retrieved from the CSIR NET server. Okay, it has nothing to do with that we created the data. It is a real data. Okay, so today is the episode 1. So in this episode, we are going to look at what happened to this student. Okay, how much marks he could secure, how much marks he lost, how much percentage of questions he could solve, how much questions he left unattempted, and what exactly he should have done. That's the final conclusion we'll look at. Okay, so are you guys ready? Quickly quickly reply in the chat box. Ready? Yes? Yes? Okay. Do I have the permission to proceed with episode number 1? All right. So now this data analysis is nowhere available on internet because this tool itself was created by Biotechnica. Okay, so we have this data. Now, this is one student. His name is Nilambari. So I'm just hiding the name, not the real name. So let's say Nilambari is the name. So Nilambari has this pie chart. So it's not very clear what is written. So I will just tell you what exactly it is. So Nilambari, blue, this blue is the correct answers. So Nilambari has 15.9% questions she marked as correct. Okay. Next, what happened is Nilambari, red is wrong. Nilambari secured 20.7%. As you can see here, it's not visible because it's an image. So I have taken an image, but if you zoom in, you can see. So I'm just writing it for you. So 20.7% questions she marked as wrong. Okay, 15% correct, 20% wrong. Now tell me, is there any chance that Nilambari will qualify LS or JRF by just looking at this 2 ratio? Let's see. Data-driven analysis for all of us, correct? So tell me, yes, any chance? No chance, right? No chance. We'll go into the reason later, but yeah, we're just looking at this. आपका 15%, if you only 15%, 16% is correct, and 20% is wrong, right? Now, whatever you've secured as correct answers, this much will go, right? So obviously her chance is very low. But there is another part. 63% she could not. 63% she could not attempt only, right? So 63.4%. Now we know that 145 questions are there, right? And she has to attempt 75, correct? Now, if we just look at this is 35%. So 35% of 145 she has attempted. That's somewhere around 50 questions she would have attempted, right? Now you got the second hint. What did she do wrong? Tell me. Correct? She did not attempt 63.4%, right? So what mistakes she did? She did not attempt the maximum number of questions, right? See, exam is a game of probability. So what Nilambari has done a mistake is she could not attempt the 75, all the 75. Okay, that is one. But at the same time, the ratio of mistakes is more than the correct answers. So what is the flaw? Tell me. Everybody in the chat box, tell me, what is the flaw? The flaw is concepts. She was not confident for the exam. Can we conclude with this data? Yes? Correct? आपके सामने है, देखो ये मिस्टेक्स होता है. Everybody is teaching you subject, nobody is teaching you strategy. I am your super strategist. I am here to teach you strategy. So what went wrong with Nilambari? 145 question misses, 75 you have to attempt. You have attempted only roughly, you have attempted around 35%. 35% of this will be around 50 to 55 questions, right? This many number of questions she attempted, rest she left, right? अगर सामने से बॉल आ रहा है आप मारोगे नहीं तो फिर तो स्कोर बनेगा नहीं, correct? So every question could have been a scoring question. So that is where one mistake. Second is obviously wrong, negative marking. So second conclusion. The first one was okay, ratio is not right, but ये तो आपको वहाँ पता नहीं चलता है. But one thing you know is if I can attempt all the 75, my chances of qualifying is highest, right? Nobody tells you that. Okay. Second thing. यहाँ पर आपको conceptual clarity is not there. That is one of the reason. Now the third thing is, what she should have done is, she should have maximized her part C question attempts, which we don't see here, which in subsequent episodes we'll see, we'll have a breakup of that, right? So what are we seeing? 75 questions, only 50, 55 attempted, maximum not attempted. That has led to the downfall. Now we'll go to the marks gained versus lost. So obviously you can see here, what is going up is the gained. What is going down is bringing you down, okay? So let us look at here. So somewhere around this much marks she has scored. This should be somewhere around 65, right? 65 or something. And this should be somewhere around 20, right? So she lost around 20, 23 marks because of that, right? So how do you maximize? How Nilambari should have avoided this, okay? Let's look at the marking scheme. What is the marking scheme, guys? Part A, how much marks? B, how much marks? C, how much marks, right? So now we know C has got 4 marks, right? For every mistake, you lose 1 mark, but still you gain 3 marks, right? So it's a no-brainer that you have to attempt all part C question. You forget part A, doesn't matter, right? You have to attempt every question of part C, right? You have to attempt all the question of part B. Forget part A. There is no sectional cutoff. Why am I saying forget part A? Is because your aim is to first cross the cutoff. That means the positive marks should exceed the negative marks by 10 times. Correct? So if 15 marks was the negative, so 10 times of that, right? So you have to exceed, then only you succeed, right? Exceed and then succeed. So what are we looking at? Tell me in the chat box, everybody. क्या करना है? पार्ट सी को मैक्सिमाइज करना है. तो जब भी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रहे हो, मॉक टेस्ट दे रहे हो, किसको, विच वन यू हैव टू वैल्यू द मोस्ट? जहां से आपको डायमंड मिलेगा. सी से आपको डायमंड मिलेगा, राइट? दिस इज डायमंड, दिस इज गोल्ड, दिस इज सिल्वर, राइट? What do you want? Diamond plus gold. Why do you want silver? Right? Silver medal लोगे, diamond चला जाएगा, right? So that is where she did a mistake, right? Now let us look at the final verdict. So this is the final number which we have, okay? So final verdict for Neelamri. Correct question she has marked is 23. Marks obtained is 68. अब सोचो, इवन इफ ये नहीं होता, एक मिनट को सोच लो कि ये नहीं है, ओके, दिस इज नॉट देयर, ये क्वेश्चन है ही नहीं, नो रॉन्ग आंसर. स्टिल क्या वो, स्टिल शी वुड हैव क्वालिफाइड? नो, बिकॉज द कट ऑफ इज 115, 120, राइट? सो टेल मी, कहां गलती हुई? नेगेटिव मार्किंग से ज्यादा गलती हुई. यू हैव टू मैक्सिमाइज योर positive marks, and you cannot maximize your positive marks unless you maximize your attempt, which is 75 question. आपको 75 question attempt करना ही पड़ेगा. If you don't, you cannot maximize your positive marks. डर के मारे आप attempt नहीं करोगे. But देख लो, even if negative marking is not there, still she would not have qualified. ठीक है, चलो, we will look at another aspect of this same data set. Okay, so let us assume ki if she had secured 115, still ये data उसको नीचे लेके जाता, right? Negative mark. But we have to know this कि जो topper भी होता है, for that person also this will be there. It's not that it will be non-existent, right? So conclusion number 2 from this, the conclusion number 1 was what? Conclusion number 1 was you cannot avoid the negative marking, so you have to maximize your positive marking by maximizing your attempt. यहां पर second conclusion क्या है? Second conclusion ये है, since you cannot avoid the negative marking, so what you have to do is you have to keep looking at which all questions are easy. Target the easy diamond. So in diamond also now, diamond is what? Part C, right? Target the easy one first, then go for the difficult one. Avoid the trap question, right? Trap question होगा, avoid कीजिए. Time taking question है. Now एक और बहुत important चीज आपको पता होनी चाहिए. You should know this. If some question might be easy for me, maybe time taking for you. Some question might be a trap question for me, easy for you. So हर स्टूडेंट के लिए ये डिफरेंट होता है, राइट? सो जो आपको इजी लग रहा है पहले उसको मार्क करते जाओ, राइट? पार्ट सी, देन पार्ट बी, फॉरगेट पार्ट ए, अभी उसमें मत जाओ. देन कम बैक एंड लुक एट द टाइम टेकिंग क्वेश्चन. लग रहा है कि सॉल्व कर सकते हो, डू इट, बिकॉज स्टिल यू हैव 4 marks टू गेन एंड ओनली 1 marks टू लूज. मैक्सिमाइज योर पार्ट सी, राइट? That is a lesson number 2. And now lesson number 3 is, you can see here, 30 plus 23, how many attempted? That is 53. But it has to go to 75. But at the same time, only you have to mark the ones which you are confident about. And how you can be confident about? Tell me, how can you be confident about? You can only be confident about if you have CC. Conceptual clarity. अब देखो conceptual clarity क्यों नहीं आती? Why don't you get conceptual clarity? पता है? It has nothing to do with your basics also. It's all about practice, right? पहला foundation, basics बहुत strong होना चाहिए, right? Majority student का basics strong नहीं होता है. So CCS, conceptual clarity strong, and then Pmax, practice to the max. यही solution है to increase your number of attempts and minimize your रॉन्ग। अब देखो, ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता है कि 30 क्वेश्चंस वेर ट्रैप क्वेश्चंस या टाइम टेकिंग क्वेश्चंस, बट इस स्टूडेंट के लिए, फॉर दिस स्टूडेंट 30 क्वेश्चंस रॉन्ग है। इसका मतलब कि इसका CCS नहीं है, कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी नहीं है, राइट? सो ऑब्वियसली आप, और प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया होगा। एक और चीज जो मेजॉरिटी स्टूडेंट्स कम टू मी एंड से इज कि सर हमें टाइम नहीं मिला, आई कुड नॉट गेट टाइम टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन। आप एक डिफरेंट बीमारी के शिकार हैं और उस बीमारी का नाम है टाइम मैनेजमेंट। टाइम मैनेजमेंट नहीं हो सकता है जब तक आपको कॉम्प्रिहेंशन नहीं आए। What is comprehension? गेट में आपने देखा होगा, पैराग्राफ देंगे एंड देन दे विल आस्क यू टू अंडरस्टैंड द पैराग्राफ एंड दे विल आस्क क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम दैट। पार्ट सी क्वेश्चन वैसा ही है, राइट? दे विल गिव यू अ पैराग्राफ एंड देन आस्क क्वेश्चन। कितना फास्ट आप क्वेश्चन समझ पाते हो, हाउ फास्ट यू अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन, वही आपको टाइम बचाएगा। सो इफ यू वांट टू डू दिस अगेन, what you have to do, practice max, Pmax, right? कहीं पर भी मैंने कोई सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाया? नहीं पढ़ाया। Did I teach any subject today? No. All I taught you is strategy. अगर बिना स्ट्रैटेजी के जाओगे तो डूब के मरोगे, ठीक है? और अगर स्ट्रैटेजी के साथ जाओगे, if you go with strategy, you are going to win, my dear friend. गलती कहां हो रही है? Where the things are going wrong is आपको conceptual clarity नहीं है, बीमारी नंबर 1, ठीक है? 75 क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट नहीं किया, बीमारी नंबर 2, करेक्ट? और तीसरी बीमारी क्या है? आपको मैक्सिमाइज करना था पार्ट सी, राइट? वो नहीं किया, राइट? सो दिस इज वेयर इट ऑल गोज रॉन्ग। ये जो 145 है ना, ये 145 अपॉर्चुनिटी है। दिस इज 145 अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर यू, बट व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज यू आर क्रिएटिंग इट एज अ ट्रैप। इंस्टेड आपको इसको मैक्सिमाइज करना है, राइट? सो 3 स्लाइड में एक केस स्टडी आज मैंने आपको बताया, वेयर वी आर लुकिंग एट अमेजिंग रिजल्ट, जो कि बहुत अच्छा हो सकता था इफ दिस गर्ल नीलाम्बरी वुड हैव मैक्सिमाइज हर पॉजिटिव मार्क्स, मिनिमाइज हर नेगेटिव मार्क्स। और वो कैसे होगा? कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी, प्रैक्टिस टू द मैक्सिमम, comprehension, क्वेश्चन पढ़ के how fast you can understand, after reading the question how fast you can understand. These are the 3 things. बस इतना सिंपल था, she would have got a JRF. और सिमिलर सिचुएशन में आप हो सकते हो if you do not pay attention to this series which we are going to have almost on a daily or a alternate days basis, जहां पर where we are going to take up 1 case study or 2 case study, see what went wrong and then learn from it. दूसरों की गलती से सीखो. This is somebody else's mistake. If you learn, you will win. Now, last point. If you don't want to be like this, then all you have to do is join Biotecnica's Arjuna batch. Batch शुरू हो चुकी है. It started on 11th of January. और उसमें 2 सीटें अभी भी हैं. Still we have 2 more seats. And if you are interested to join, you can write to me, okay? Or you can call this number. So the phone number is toll-free number 1-800 1200 1818. I'll request the team to also display this on the screen. दूसरी चीज, you have my email ID also, which is shekhar@biotechnica.org. ठीक है? I'll request the team to display that also on the screen. ठीक है? ये जो आप देख रहे हो, this can be you next time. If you want to avoid, then join Arjuna batch. And if you have already joined, then attend my sessions over there, because we are going to go in depth in exam analysis there also. So all the best. It's getting late. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye. And you can write to me at shekhar@biotechnica.org. Good night. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Okay, fine. Good night. Bye-bye.